Hello and welcome along to the ProjectCars2 Virtual Racing League, where today we are continuing with our PS4 championship, the Nissan Challenge, where we're at five different tracks, 5 different Nissans. Although I say 5 different tracks, we're actually at Watkins Glen International Short again for round 2, and this time we're in the Skyline Super Silhouette car from 1984, an absolutely bonkers thing which delivers 540 newton meters of torque, probably all in one go, being a 1980s turbo car. And you can see there the championship standings after round 1. Monty Momo delivered a great drive in the first one there when we were in the 240s, and he beat Stuart Davis there to second, Dan Holloway third, Pixie an excellent result there in fourth, Welsh Taff and Delboy with some ground to make up here today. Alex Brown is back for this one. He starts there in third place, so we'll see how he gets on. A great time there from Alex though, and it looks like though Stuart and Monty Momo had quite a bit of an advantage over the rest of them. Stuart on pole this time, and we'll see how they get on now as they wait at the top of the hill there, and the revs begin to rise and wait for the green light, and they go here now at Watkins Glen International Short, and it's Stuart Davis once again predictably getting a great start, and Monty there and Alex battling away, and also Welsh Taff in the mix too. They're all in exactly the same livery and colour car, so it's going to be absolutely bonkers for the commentators today to try and decide who's who here, but we'll give it our best go. Monty Momo, I think that is, there in second place, just ahead of Alex, who's still attacking, and this has allowed Stuart to get a really good run up the hill, and he's clearing away now, but they'll get the slipstream effect as they come up the hill here. Monty Momo is having a good run too. Alex is still ahead of Welsh Taff, and Monty Momo has made a mistake in the quick chicane, probably on slightly cold tyres. That's going to be a big blow to him, the championship leader, and he's off and he's back down to last place, 7th position. Delboy in 5th there now, ahead of Pick Z as well, and there's a car going wide just up ahead. I think that's Dan Holloway, and Delboy will be all over him like a bad rash now as they come down the back straight to the last couple of corners. And it's Alex Brown 2nd position. We've seen Alex and Stuart battle before, haven't we, a few times in the Xbox races, and they come round to complete the last lap now. A 50-minute race, 1 mandatory pit stop. Who's your call, Alex?
Just from the mistake Monty did, you'd have to imagine Stu's now favourite with the lead over Alex in 2nd, but fair play to Welsh Taff, he's up to 3rd now, which is probably one of his highest positions he's been. We'll see Dan now, and Monty's fallen right back, but he's got the pace over the others, so he should be one to consider for at least a podium towards the end if you go on board with Alex Brown. It looks like he might be on the controller for the PlayStation. You see just the amount of movement, but it's equal on both sides. You'd have to imagine on controller and steering wheel. But is Delboy and Pixie battling away? Pixie, he didn't risk it. Delboy shut the door on him. That's a good defensive driving there. But these cars are going to be really hard to drive for these guys. With, like you said, just all that boost coming in at one moment, being a great 80s car.
Yeah, it's going to be a real handful for the drivers when when the turbo really spools up. And Delboy, look, 3-way battle now. We've got Delboy and I think it's Pixie and Dan Holloway maybe as well, all in the mix there. 4th, 5th and 6th I think we're looking at, is it?
I think it's
no, it's 5th, 6th and 7th, sorry. It's Monty recovering, so sorry, apologies there. But Monty's coming in the pits, look. He doesn't fancy that battle. He reckons the fastest way to the checkered flag is to pit early. This time we saw him, the last pitter actually, in the first race, so he's completely swapped around. Now he's pitting first, and he's going to go into some clear air, he reckons, and get some good lap times. And that's Delboy running wide, and bang, and he crashes there into I think it was possibly Pick Z, was it? Yes, it was Pick Z. Pixie now disadvantaged coming up the hill, but he's still facing the right way. Just a bit of a racing incident possibly there. Pixie gets away though into 5th. Delboy's still in 6th. Monty of course makes that pit stop, and Dan Holloway's in 4th now. We're looking at him as he comes around that long sweeping corner. And what's tyre life going to be here? Going to be like here today, Alex, do you reckon?
Same as 240Z, you've got to probably be careful of the 2 passenger side, so the left hand side tyres. But I think the main thing these guys will have to be careful of is of the wheel spin factor coming out the corners. With all that boost happening, it's just going to spin up the wheels, so they'll probably have to be careful of that. But smart money would be look after the tyres, pit in, take no fuel or tyres on board, and get out as soon as possible. As we see Stu really getting to grips with this car, going up the nice right left bit here, line crest, really throwing the car in. Is he going to tap the barrier? Yes, he does. That's not going to help him. it just shows how tricky these cars are.
Yeah, it was full commitment there, wasn't it? Maybe that's the way to drive these cars, just absolutely full commitment. Anything less than that, and they're going to bite you hard. And Stewart there, right on board, great on-board shot here, taking around the lap. And he's really throwing that car around. He seems to have a lot of confidence. He's perhaps practiced a lot in this car as well. And Alex, although he was challenging Stewart in the initial stages, he has fallen back a bit now to 2 seconds. Maybe Alex is playing the long game a little bit more, Alex Brown there. We'll have to wait and see. And then 5 seconds back from that battle, we've got Welsh Taff and Dan Holloway. We're looking at that fight here now for third and fourth. Welsh Taff doing a great job up in third. Dan Holloway really pressurising him. He's got a bumper there, line on the circuit. Is Dan Holloway going to pit? No, he's not. He thought about it though. Oh, and he collides with Welsh Taff, and they're both in the barrier. And now Dan Holloway has a smash and grab and gets up into third place. And Welsh Taff will be absolutely livid with that one, I'd imagine. And he's going to try and do his best to get that one back.
Yeah, I think the police would be proud of that manoeuvre. I think whether he tried to get the throttle on early than that, the turbo just spooled up, caught him by surprise, and it just hit him as they do synchronised barrier slapping on the right hand side. But yeah, it's an interesting tactic by Dan, but I have to see what the stewards say afterwards. But these are just great looking cars, aren't they? Even if they are in the same colour, just a big snowplow front, wide bodies. It's pretty much got the 80s written all over it.
I was going to say, it's just classic 80s, isn't it? And everything is just maximum. The turbo boost, the side skirts, everything is just super modded. And, well, I guess futuristic looking as well, isn't it? But also, yeah, a bit boxy. It's classic 80s car. And Alex Brown there, he's fallen back again a little bit. Who's in the pit lane? There's someone in the pit lane he just smashes into out of the way, as if to say, get out of the way, I'm coming in the pits. Who are you? And we don't know who it is because we're still looking at Alex Brown, but whoever it is, oh, it's Del Boy. Maybe he tried to come in the pits and spun, I don't know, but he's losing positions now. Look, he's back down to last place, and he hasn't even made his pit stop yet.
Yeah, I think he might even be lapped. He's really struggling with this car, but they are extremely tricky. But that's for someone that's usually at the front, this is all falling apart for him.
Yeah, it's a big shame, and maybe a factor of this championship will be getting to grips with different cars. A variety of different cars, of course. 5 different Nissans we're going to be using. And today here, Del Boy is not getting to grips with this car, it seems. But who will be the best over the 5 rounds? That's something that we'll have to find out. Alex Brown has exited the pit lane. He seems to be doing all right. This is his first round of this championship, of course, after missing the opening one. He's in 5th place now after making that stop, and he's about 28, 27 seconds behind the leader. So we'll see how close it is with Stewart when Stu makes his pit stop, but we'll have to wait, I think, a little bit for that as we approach halfway of this race.
Yeah, but ideally he's in front of Monty, who pitted earlier after his spin, who's still in 6th, so he got ahead of Monty, which is ideal for Alex.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Alex, actually. Yeah, he's in clear air. He's got Pixie 8 seconds up the road, his good friend. They've known each other since school. They've raced each other lots of times on the Xbox and the PS4 as well. So they'll know each other's driving styles quite well if Alex does catch Pixie. But Pixie is going along very nicely in 4th at the moment. He's not very far behind Dan Holloway, actually, looking at the timing splits there, as we're still looking at Stewart, our race leader at the moment, 13 seconds in the lead from Welsh Taff. Really throwing that car around still. We'll see if he pays a price with his tyres later on or not, but at the moment he still seems to be quite strong and certainly the favourite.
Yeah, especially with the way he's going. You wouldn't say he's been conservative with the driving, especially with the way he keeps hitting the barrier on the 4th turn, as we see Dan Holloway going through there nice and neatly. But it's quite interesting for 3rd place now. There's not too much in it, really. You'll have to imagine when Welsh Taff, who's up to 2nd now, so did Alex make a mistake there? He was 3rd place.
I'm not sure. It looks like it's all swapped around a little bit because maybe some cars came in the pits, I'm not sure. But Pixie was ahead of Alex, wasn't he?
Yeah, he definitely was. Oh, now we see Welsh Taff pitting in from 2nd place. We'll have to see where he comes out. Ideally, he'd be in front of Monty, he'd want, but it's going to be hard to say. It looks like Pixie might have pitted because he's down in 6th now from 4th.
Yeah, I agree there. And Welsh Taff still stationary in the pit lane. We'll see where he comes. Alex Brown flashed past on the straight in his quest to catch this man here, Stuart Davis. We'll see how close it will be. There's nothing separating them on the track now in terms of cars anyway, in terms of traffic. It's just first and second, Stuart and Alex, but 30 seconds separating them. So judging by the first race, you can expect about a 2-second gap when Stuart pits if he was to pit right now.
Maybe less, because there was a 30-second gap in that first race, and it's down to 26. So whether I think Stu's just pitted now because that gap is rapidly declining.
I think you're right, Alex. I think Stu must be in the pits, so we'll see that battle soon, I'd imagine. Pick Z we're looking at the moment. He's flashing by on the back straight there, and he's really charging at the moment after Welsh Taff, who's in 5th, and he really wants that 5th position. He's ahead of Delboy in 7th. Pixie doesn't fancy 6th today, he fancies 5th, and he's coming for Welsh Taff quite quickly. He's a couple of seconds back. Welsh Taff has recently made a pit stop, so he's still getting up to speed perhaps. Maybe the tyres have cooled down a little bit, but any which way, they're really having a good go at it here for 5th and 6th. Stuart, by the looks of it, is still ahead of Alex. He's exited the pit lane, and we're looking at Monty MC moment. There's about a 3-second gap up front, isn't it? So it looks like Stu has reclaimed that lead.
Yeah, just about. He pitted at the right moment just to regain his lead. I think it was a bit less than what it was when Alex pitted. It was. So he did gain some time on Stu, but it looks like Stu's just really got this car handling nicely for him. But Alex is definitely setting a good pace, 109.8 that last lap, so he's really pushing trying to catch Stu.
He is. There's a couple of laps left, so there's still a chance. Dan Holloway's car looks a little bit worse for wear, doesn't it? He's been in the wars somewhere, by the looks of it. He did do a good lap the last time. He was in the 109s as well, I believe. But yeah, certainly he's had an incident somewhere that the cameras have missed. He certainly wouldn't pass the MOT in that thing, would he?
Definitely not. But it's interesting to see how much the bodywork does hide it. There's hardly anything underneath the front of that car. But we've got Monty chasing him down, so he won't like that. That's going to be a load of pressure in these last couple of laps.
Yeah, and he'll have someone to play with here, will Dan Holloway, and well, I mean, you'd rather have a race, wouldn't you? I mean, even if you are defending for the last lap. Oh, and he spun, he's lost it already. Maybe he wouldn't have preferred it. The pressure got to him and he spun, just coming up the hill there, releasing all of that torque, 540 newton meters of torque, 560 horsepower. It was just a little bit too much for Dan's worse for wear car and the worn tyres by this stage of the race, and round he went in the barrier, and Monty Msumomo says, thank you, I'll take 3rd position.
Yeah, that was nice and easy for Monty, but just shows you plant your foot down in these cars, they're going to bite, and it really just threw him straight. It was almost like a high side that, and it just threw him straight into the barrier. But
yeah, and that could yet happen to one of these two up front here. So that's why Alex is still pushing hard. He's thinking, if I can just stay with Stuart, maybe Stu will make a mistake, maybe he'll crack. You never know, and you just got to give it your all, haven't you? And Alex is doing a great job here up in 2nd place. He's got a lovely gap back to 3rd, and 4th as well, is quite far behind now as well. So he can really just freely drive and push it, and the pressure is firmly on Stuart here to come home and take the win, which he's been leading from the start, hasn't he? So you can't say he doesn't deserve it. He does, but he has to bring the pieces home now.
Yeah, you won't want to bottle it at all, especially with Alex still in view in the background. There's Alex, looks like he's just braking again into the bus stop. Oh no, he's made a mistake.
Yes, he's spinning, comes to a halt now, facing the barrier. He decides to reverse it rather than reset the car. And where is Monty? Here's Monty coming into that area of the circuit now. Is he going to get Alex? Is Alex still getting up to speed? Monty's at full speed coming through the chicane. And he's going to be right in the ring mirrors now of Alex. So Alex goes from a position of pushing really hard to a position of being really under pressure now from Monty, and we'll see how he deals with it. Monty Msumomo sniffs 2nd place though, so he's going to be going for it now. And can he get past Alex? I think we'll have another lap or so to go after this one. So we'll see what happens. Monty using all of the track and a little bit more here. He's absolutely throwing everything he can at Alex Brown as they come now over the start-finish line. And he's firmly in the slipstream. Is he going to have a look into turn 1? We're rising on the front bumper here. He's having a little look, getting in the mirrors, trying to distract Alex. But he's got on the grass and he's run wide himself. Oh no, this is a disaster for Monty. And just about turns it away from the barrier, but he's lost quite a few car lengths now to Alex Brown, so that releases Alex up the hill and a little bit of pressure comes off him.
Yeah, that's quite unlucky for Alex, but disaster for Monty. Like you said, just one wheel dipped on the grass and that's going to lock that wheel up and you can't stop. So luckily he didn't bury it in the barriers, but you can still see Alex, so there's still a chance. Alex will hopefully not make a mistake, as Monty does make a mistake and go wide. It's really tricky that chicane in these cars. It looks like it puts the car under boost, and then when you try and get out of the corner, it's just fully unloading itself. We've seen a few instances there now as Welsh Taff takes the scenery. But, yeah,
a little bit of rallycross for Welsh Taff.
Yeah. You have to imagine he'll want to do well in these Nissans, being a Nissan man himself, but it looks like this might be the last lap now for Stu. With only a minute
and going
left.
back to Monty's incident in turn 1 where he got on the grass, he was actually quite clever there. He could have just turned in and probably spun if he did, but instead he decided to straighten the car up and slow it down and use the runoff. There's clearly a lot of runoff at turn 1, and then get the car turned when he could, isn't it, rather than turn in whilst he was still on the grass.
Yeah, it was a massive runoff on the first corner. I think you have to imagine that's for the NASCARs whenever they race here. So he was quite lucky in that regard, as it looks like Stu might be coming up going Del Boy. He's probably fed up with these cars at this point, with the amount of spins he's had.
Yeah, I don't think he's been enjoying these, has he? I don't think it's been a memorable one for Del Boy, but it certainly has been a memorable one for Stewart. Although he hasn't actually been battling anyone, he's absolutely dominated it. And after finishing second in the last one, he now comes across the line and he's really happy, you can tell. And he swerves across the line to take the win. Stuart Davis, an excellent, well-deserved win there. As soon as he took the lead, he didn't look back, and that's Del Boy having some shenanigans into the pit wall in the background, I think. Probably wanting to write off that car after the day he's had. And Alex Brown now taking a great second place, just about holding off Monty. Oh, very close there across the line with the recovering Del Boy. But yeah, fantastic, well-deserved podiums for Alex and Monty MC Momo, who was our round 1 winner. Dan Holloway now coming up to the line to take 4th position as well. And yeah, he's quite happy with that by the looks of it. Welsh Taff in 5th position, yeah, and then Pixie, wait for Pixie now, there he is in 6th. He's had another good race here and finishes in 6th position.
Yeah, good race there for Stu. Looks like fastest lap as well with a 1:08.7, so really dominated this race, just like Monty did in the first race. But really quite close in the end in the midfield.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a good midfield battle brewing, and certainly up front too. 2 points now separating Stewart from Monty MC Momo. Dan Holloway, Alex Brown, Pixie, Welsh Taff and Del Boy have got some catching up to do if they want to be in the championship fight, but they're all having an absolutely fantastic scrap in the midfield, so join us for round 3 soon.